Howdy folks, I'm Spiffy Spotted Seal, snidely snapping at stodgy stingrays.
I'm Amber.
And here are more stodgy stingrays for us to snap at, though I think that they were just mad because they're stodgy. But let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? I told my ex-husband that I wouldn't relocate so he can be closer to his girlfriend. Am I the jerk? My ex-husband and I got divorced 5 years ago, and we have 50-50 custody of our 10-year-old son. We have always had an amazing co-parenting relationship, and I even considered us friends. That all changed when he got a girlfriend 3 months ago. We have both dated, and it's never been a problem. This time is a little different. I found out through a friend that he was dating a girl that he cheated on me with in the past. It stung a little bit, but I've moved on, and this was over a decade ago, so I let it go. Well, we always agreed that if we introduced our son to a partner, we would let each other know. So after I was dating my boyfriend for a year, I introduced him to our son, and I let my ex-husband know that, like we had agreed upon. Well, the next week, I go to our son's hockey game, and I see his girlfriend. Not only has he not told me personally that he's dating her, he also didn't tell me that she had met our son. After 1 month of dating, he introduced our son and never let me know. This caused a huge fight, and nothing has been the same since. It's been now 3 months, and he calls me today asking if I would consider moving 3 hours away. He says the plan would be for him and our son to move in with his girlfriend, and I would get a place of my own. I lost it. To preface, we live in our hometown, our entire family is here, and the only town my son has ever known. I said absolutely not. I am not leaving my home, my job, and my family so that you can play house with your girlfriend of 3 months. He's not allowed to relocate our son, so that's why he asked me to come too. He was so mad and couldn't believe my reaction. He said that he knew that I always wanted to leave our hometown, so he didn't expect me to react negatively. Leaving my hometown does not mean moving 3 hours away with no friends or family to make his life more convenient with his long-distance girlfriend. He said that he thinks that this is what's best for our son and knows that it would be hard to move away from family, but his girlfriend would provide him with a loving and stable environment. He doesn't think that it would be a traumatic experience for a 10-year-old to have to move 3 hours away from everything that he's ever known and lose the life that he had with his dad by moving in with a girl that he's known for 2 months. I said that I would not even consider this for a second and that I'm not moving, and neither is our son. Is this a completely delusional or inappropriate ask of him, or am I the jerk? He gaslit me for so long that sometimes I can't tell. All right, folks, what do you think?
Absolutely not the jerk. This is a very selfish ask of him, and it is not in what is in your son's best interest. It's very clear he just wants to be able to live near his girlfriend and also maintain the relationship with his son. Why can't the girlfriend move to be closer to him?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I want to know is it seems like she's the one who is furthest away. I mean, like, there's everyone who's here in this area. It would make more sense for her to move with them as opposed to everyone moving to her.
Right. And so, I mean, he needs to decide if she's unwilling to move, he needs to decide whether it's more important for him to see the son or to live near her, live with her, but he can't do both. And I would recommend keeping documentation of every message he sends you in case he tries to use this somehow in court to get full custody or something so he can do this without you. Just document everything he sends to you. Make sure that you're cordial and neutral in your responses. And the court obviously is not going to side with him or think this is in the son's best interest.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My husband got our electricity turned off and then tried to play D&D. I'm using the last bit of my phone battery to get this out, so here it goes. My husband and I, both 30s, have been financially struggling since having our 1-year-old daughter. My husband recently started a better job, so we've been able to be above water. That is, until we got home today, and I found out the electricity had been turned off. How did that happen? He hasn't paid it for months, apparently. He thought that it was on auto pay and was ignoring all the letters that we received because he assumed that he already paid it and never checked. He pays the electricity through his separate bank account that I'm not on, so I never knew. So we get home tonight at 7:30 p.m. and realize that there is no electricity. He's incredibly apologetic and says that he's so embarrassed, etc. I tell him that it's okay, I'm pretty stressed about it, but We'll figure this out. And then, not even a minute later, as I'm nursing our daughter in our pitch black living room with my phone at 30%, he says, "It's cool if I join my D&D group, right?" That's right, he wanted to leave his wife and child in the dark to play virtual D&D with his friends on his phone. I get pretty irritated at him and I told him, cool, so I'll just chill here in the dark alone with the baby. So he says, never mind, I won't go. I'm still annoyed that he even asked, but whatever, I try to let it go. And then 10 minutes later, I hear him joining the call. I got up and I took our baby into the room and he hung up and followed me, saying, I'm just curious as to what's going on. I wasn't going to play, but I honestly don't care. This is all his fault, and he wants to play D&D in the dark while I sit quietly next to him. Am I wrong here? I would never be able to enjoy myself with my friends as the rest of my family suffered because of my mistakes. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think OP is wrong for being upset on this. Her husband has failed her on several levels. If you're getting warning letters that your bills are not being paid, you need to check and make sure that they actually are on autopay.
Yeah.
And even if they are, like, it may be worth calling the company to confirm and make sure there's not some error in the system, because they do not just send those letters out at random.
And how long has it been since he checked his bank account?
Yeah.
Right? I look at my statement regularly enough that I can tell when there's like a charge that's been taken out, right? So what kind of confuses me is that he's not even like looking for the electricity being taken out or whatever other bills he has. Like, that's kind of concerning. And if he did it with the electricity, what else has he done it with?
Right. Yeah. Like, I understand having separate finances for things, but like, how are the finances being handled? Do you actually have any idea what his finances are like? There sounds like there's some gross mismanagement going on in at least this one area, so it might be worth having a deeper conversation about his financial situation and making sure that the other bills are going to be paid and you're not going to find yourself in a situation like this again.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Imaginary Jeweler 85 says, my guy made a mistake. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes we all fall short. He's acknowledged his mistake and intends to fix it, all while in the dark, and he should be punished more than he's already punishing himself for failing as a father and husband to provide for his family. Maybe instead of getting upset, enjoy the only entertainment that you guys have at this moment and let him play his fantasy game. And OP replies, listening to people yell and shout about what door they pretend to open is not entertaining for me. If he were to leave the room like he originally wanted, then he would have taken the only light in the house because my phone's flashlight doesn't work. When he joined the call next to me, our daughter jerked awake and started fussing. So my options were to sit in the dark while nursing a sleepy baby, or try to keep a sleepy baby quiet as her dad's friends loudly shout through the screen at their fantasy game. Not very entertaining for me. If it were me, I would have sat with my partner and streamed Netflix, but unfortunately, he's the one with a car charger. So I'll waste my remaining bits of phone life laying in bed with the baby, scrolling on Reddit while he wrestles an orc in the next room. What do you think of that?
I mean, I would investigate what does OP's partner actually contribute to this relationship. I know he has some financial contributions, but is he actually stepping up as a partner in any respect? It sounds like OP's doing a lot of the childcare. Is he helping out in any way, shape, or form? Is he giving emotional support? Or is he just providing money and that's it?
And Murky Smiling says, looks like someone rolled a critical fail on adulting. Hopefully your husband's D&D character has better luck. And Chaotically Fiendish says, you can definitely tell charisma and intelligence are dump stats. And Kit says, I'm starting to suspect everything is a dump stat for this dude. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Help My Daughter When Her Car Broke Down? My daughter and I had plans to visit a wedding venue that was an hour away. 2 hours before we were supposed to leave, she called saying that her car broke down and she believed it was a battery issue. She asked my husband and I to come and help her. She was a 30-minute drive away, but her fiance was only a couple of miles away from her. My husband called her, confirmed that it was a battery issue, and told her to call her fiance since he was much closer. However, she wasn't talking to her fiance due to drama the night before, and she didn't want to reach out to him. We didn't want to get involved in their drama, and my husband felt that her fiance should be the one handling it, not us, since he's supposed to be the man of the house. Hours passed and we couldn't reach her. Eventually, we called her fiance, who said that she never reached out to him, and he could also not reach her. Later, we found out that her phone had died at the location, leaving her stranded for a couple of hours before she was able to get help. After everything, I sent her a text saying that I hoped that she got everything worked out and that we loved her, but she hasn't responded. According to her fiance, she's upset because she feels that regardless of her age or relationship status, if she calls us for help, we should be there for her. From her perspective, she's an adult who could have handled the situation by calling her fiance, and we didn't see a reason to disrupt our day to drive 30 minutes for something that could have been resolved in 10. We also don't like getting involved in drama. So am I the jerk for not going and helping her out? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP. I mean, you were planning on meeting her in a couple of hours anyway. What big roaring plans did you have going on that it was so difficult to disrupt? Is my first question. But I think the bigger issue here is that she's currently fighting with her fiance. And the reason doesn't matter. For whatever reason, she does not feel like she can turn to him in the moment. He is no longer a safe person. So just because he is closer to her, she's reaching out to her safe person. And you and your husband just proved that you're not actually safe people. You don't care about her safety. You're just like, nah, you're too much drama. We don't want to get involved. This wasn't her drama. It was getting her car up and running. I just really feel like OP did not have the daughter's best interests at heart. OP and her husband just couldn't be bothered to leave. Mm-hmm. And that really that's not the sign of a good parent.
No. I mean, I feel bad for the daughter in this particular case. I think that they failed her, and certainly, if they didn't feel like they could go out and help her, then they should have helped her find a tow truck or some other resource that would have been able to help her out. They could have said, well, we can't make it at the moment here. Is there a tow that we can call or something to that effect, right? And, I think that if your daughter is feuding with her fiance, you really do need to make sure that she's in a safe place.
Right, because I don't know the details of what kind of feud they were having, but you also have to understand that people aren't always forthright and the issue could be deeper than you realize. And he may no longer be a safe person. So just it seems like, oh, well, she's got a fiance now, so we're abdicating all responsibility and all help.
Yeah.
And that's a really not cool thing to do when the person is potentially untrustworthy in some way.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Rockology Adam says, you're the jerk. You broke your bond with your daughter over not getting into drama, which I understand, but need to qualify below. As for the use of your time in general, the defining factor here is that you are planning to give your afternoon to your daughter anyways. Second point first, but the idea that her fiance was more available because he was closer is a false equivalency. You were planning to see your daughter on that day. You had planned specifically with her for a few hours later. If you had plans at the moment that she contacted you, a doctor's appointment, or your car was getting an oil change or something, then sure, you're not actually available to her at that moment. But unless those things were true, you were really only an hour or two early on seeing your daughter that day. The level of implosion here is so minor that even if you weren't her partner, it's possible that you would have been more likely the person to help her. It's not actually important here. When it comes to drama with one's partner, there should only be one group of people that we can expect to be on our side, and that's our family, our parents in particular. You're right, she's an adult, and she should have been able to handle this on her own or with her fiance's help. But there's also nothing preventing you from being helpful here. What if that drama had been serious? What happens if her circumstances wherever she was had turned serious? This was a petty and selfish refusal to help and completely a jerk move. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my husband that he has to cancel his hunting trip because we will have a newborn baby? Am I the jerk for telling my husband that he can't go on his week-long 10-day hunting trip that he planned 2 years ago because I will be 3 weeks postpartum from a planned C-section? My husband believes that I'm in the wrong for telling him that I don't want him to go, as I'll only be 3 weeks postpartum from surgery, and we will have a newborn baby. We'll also have 2 toddlers at home. He thinks that since he's already planned this trip that he should be able to go, and I told him that plans change. I will have to take care of our newborn around the clock while healing from a C-section only 3 weeks after surgery. C-sections are a minimum of 6 weeks recovery. His mom will be staying with me and help me, but that doesn't actually mean that I will have nighttime help. And I didn't have a baby with my mother-in-law. We planned this baby, him and I. I don't know if I feel like I'm in the wrong. I couldn't fathom leaving him in a situation, and it kills me that he sees nothing wrong with it. Am I the jerk? And folks, I did have at least one comment that I wanted to read. I think it gives a little bit more context. And individual OK 8644 says, "Hey there, I'm sorry that you're going through all of this. How was he for the first 2 C-sections after care? I think that I would be feeling a certain way if my safest person disappeared during such an important time. You know, as a mom of 2, that's when you need the support the most, and mother-in-laws don't exactly replace husbands as hard as they try. He can always try to go hunting, but he can never turn back time. Maybe ask him if it's worth to know that he's giving up a week with your child that he can't give back. Someone needs to be refreshed with a nice old C-section video or 5. And OP replies, "Thank you. He was great with the other 2. That's why I assumed that they would be no different this time around. And when we knew the due date, I assumed that he would cancel his trip as they fell way too close together. And he assumed that I would be totally cool with him going. And you're right, he's my safe person, especially during such a vulnerable time. I feel abandoned." And Responsible Exit 901 says, "How long from now is all of this? Is it possible that he just currently is grieving the loss of the trip?" And OP replies, "October." What do you think of all that?
Yeah, no, I think OP is definitely not the jerk here. I mean, he made a decision to try for a child. He may not have been thinking about the hunting trip during all of this, but once he realized that they were happening in the same time frame, he should have been willing to cancel to support his partner through a major surgery. Because C-sections are no joke. They are very invasive and have a long recovery time, and you can't expect someone 3 weeks postpartum to tend to a newborn and 2 young children.
I mean, this is 7 months out, right? This is 7 months out. She's just at the very beginning of her pregnancy. The guy needs to get his priorities straight here, right? I mean, I understand wanting to go on his hunting trip, but this isn't even like a last minute misunderstanding or anything, right? It's not like he can get a refund at this point in time. It's 7 months away. For crying out loud, right?
Right. I mean, there may be some deposits he would lose, but even so, like, you gotta help your person through a medical, situation.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that OP is making an unreasonable demand here. I certainly understand his frustration and not wanting to give up on this hunting trip, right? Like, that's probably an important thing to him. It's clearly important to him because he planned it 2 years ago, right? But OP has also mentioned here that this is a planned pregnancy, right? They planned on having a child, and maybe they should have blocked, waited until after the hunting trip if they wanted to have another child, or they could have waited until closer to the hunting trip before she got pregnant. So it just kind of feels like, yeah, you helped plan this pregnancy,
Right.
so you should have planned it a little bit better.
Yeah, like, if the hunting trip was going to take priority for you, you need to wait to try to conceive until you're outside of that time window.
Yeah, and so, I get it. I don't like canceling plans, and I mean, I can understand him really being upset with not being able to go on this hunting trip, but he takes 2 to tango, if you know
Right.
what I mean.
He
And
has other priorities now.
yeah, he has other priorities. He has to be, a father to a newborn. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call a grumpy gardenia?
A gardenia? Aren't those like the plant-based foods?
No, you're
things?
thinking of gardene. A gardenia is a flower.
Oh. Oh, okay, yes, that actually makes sense. But I don't remember what the joke was at all because I was too thrown off by the fact that we were eating like fake or doing fake meat jokes.
What might you call a grumpy gardenia?
Probably ground beef. I don't know.
A dour flower.
A dour flower. All right, that makes sense.
And today is National Plant a Flower Day, although you'll be hard pressed to plant flowers if you're here in Maine.
Yes, we still have snow on the ground, pretty deep, so we are not going to be planting any flowers anytime soon.
And it's also Alfred Hitchcock Day.
Oh, so make sure to watch some birds for us and Alfred Hitchcock. But just don't get involved in any like strange bird occurrences. That's my advice. And I have the special guest tea, some matcha. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, wonderful Wednesday, Hump Day, Friday, Junior's Eve. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a haiku for Haiku Wednesday.
Once you're a parent, you need to step up and put your family first.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? I Told My Ex-Husband That I Wouldn't Rolate. I'm not going to turn into a phone rollator thing so that you can be with your girlfriend. My daughter and I had planets. We had planets, the whole solar system. And then we were crushed.